What if the breaking point isn't a headline, but a number whispered in a front office? Hallway one that quietly turns a fan favorite into a trade chip? What if the decision that tilts the Lakers season isn't about who starts on opening night, but about who you're willing to pay like a star in July? And what if the most important possession of the year is happening right now off the court with a shot clock called leverage? You feel it too, right? The shift in tone, the cautious answers, the way we love our guys lands different when someone asks about the future. When a player grows from undrafted to indispensable, the market comes knocking loud. And Los Angeles, the city of sequels, hates repeating endings that end in heartbreak. Stay with me, and don't skip ahead. In the next minutes, we'll line up the clues. Measure the cap math, look at the role and the rotations. Weigh the cost of keeping versus the risk of moving on. And even map out what realistic trade frameworks would actually do to the team's identity. We'll examine the competitive window with LeBron and AD, the new coaching imprint, the schedule pressure, the postseason calculus. No spoilers yet because context matters more than any hot take. If this is your first time here, welcome to Lakers News Fan Report, your home for smart, passionate, real-time Lakers coverage with zero fluff. Hit subscribe, tap the bell, and drop a like so more die-hard Laker fans get this breakdown while it still matters. Let's lock in, because this conversation can age fast. Here's the introduction. The Lakers are chasing something precise, a two-way identity that travels from October to May without burning out stars in January. That means cleaner spacing for LeBron's reads, simpler second-side triggers for a D, and guards who either punish the nail with pace or punish the scoreboard with threes. In a capped league, you can't pay everyone like a closer. Role clarity isn't just a coaching thing, it's a payroll thing. The collective bargaining rules pin teams into corners. Extensions have ceilings. Cap slots have ripple effects. The question with any rising guard who lives in that $30, $40 million neighborhood isn't, is he good? We all watch the same games. It's, is he good for our equation? Are you allocating star money to volume creation, to advantage creation, or to advantage finishing? Because once you cross a line on salary, you don't build a rotation, you build around a rotation. On the floor, this is about possessions. When the first action dies, who keeps the advantage alive without a reset? When LeBron drives left and the weak side tag comes early, who shakes free for the 0.4-second catch and fire? When a D short rolls into traffic, who meets him on the dotted line to turn a tough two into a layup? Those are the unglamorous questions that ring in April. Those are also the questions that decide whether a guard's value is merely additive or foundational. And then there's the human layer. Locker rooms feel usage. Veterans know who should touch it when it gets late. Coaches sense which combinations make the ball pop. A guard who plays to the rhythm of the stars becomes a multiplier. A guard who overlaps the stars becomes duplication. Duplication is expensive. Multiplication you pay for with a smile. The fan piece? That's the hardest. This city loves stories that begin at the deep end undrafted, overlooked, turns himself into a closer on national TV. We attach to that because it reflects the grind that built the banners. But the front office lives in a harder world. Balance sheets, scarcity, timelines, and the cold arithmetic of what a dollar buys on the wing versus what a dollar buys at the point of attack. Now take a breath, because here's the turn you came for. The loudest read of the room right now is simple and uncomfortable. Austin Reaves might be on his way out of Los Angeles. That doesn't mean a deal is done today. It means the indicators are bright enough to put the possibility on the table without fear of sounding reckless. He declined the maximum extension the Lakers could legally offer under the current rules. Multiple plugged-in voices project his next number to be well north of what LA can stomach without sacrificing flexibility. And league chatter treats his value as both undeniable and, in a hard cap world, potentially extractable. Put that together, and the Reaves is leaving drumbeat isn't a troll. It's a scenario the organization has to game out. Let's unpack the mechanics, because this isn't about emotion, it's about constraints. The extension number the Lakers were boxed into offering was always going to be below open market projections. Turning that down wasn't betrayal. It was rational. If outside money pushes into the upper 30s, or even touches 40 per season on an open market, LA pays a premium, not just in cash, but in opportunity cost. Fewer mid-tier signings, tighter margins at the trade deadline, less room to correct in February when a seed line is wobbling. That's the real tax of star-adjacent guards in today's CBA. From the team's vantage point, the calculus splits into 3 lanes. Lane 1, keep him through the season. Bet on internal improvement and postseason proof. Readdress in July with every possible tool and a clear picture of fit next to the stars. Lane 2, extend or re-sign early if the number softens, unlikely, but real conversations can move numbers. Lane 3, explore trades that convert a rising guard cap slot into a bigger wing, a point-of-attack stopper, or a stretch forward who scales better next to LeBron and AD players who defend first-option wings and don't need touches to swing series. The third lane is the one nobody likes to say out loud, but it's the one that preserves optionality if the market hardens in June. So what would that third lane even look like? The conceptual trades you've seen floating around aren't just fan machine fantasies. They reflect the directional need: bigger length at the 3, more deflections at the nail, a high-release shooter who lifts the weak side tag without demanding the first action. Names come and go, values change daily, but the architecture remains. A plus wing in his mid-20s, under contract at a number south of elite guard money, with playoff viability and defensive portability. If the Lakers pulled that lever, it would be a bet on fit over familiarity, and on the idea that your star's usage should determine your support salaries, not the other way around. You've seen specific versions of this in the rumor mill. Whether the front office is at monitoring or engaged depends on the week. Of course, there's a counter-argument one many in the building likely share. Reaves is the bridge player. He bends the defense without hijacking possessions. He lives in the in-between, and he's proven he can scale up in fourth quarters without demanding a game plan written for him. He's also a chemistry winner. Guys like playing with him, and that matters more than spreadsheets admit. In that light, you ride the year, chase shooting slumps away with patience, and dare the market to overpay in July. If another team wants to hand him true star money, tip your cap or match if the cap roadmap allows. And let's be clear, the Lakers have consistently said they value him and don't intend to move him, and intentions matter until the board changes. Zoom out. Where does coaching land on this? A system that prizes 0.5 decisions. Catch, decide, Moo loves guards who process fast, cut on time, and shoot comfortably above league average on standstill looks. Reaves checks those boxes. The question is less about can he play in this, and more about what does he cost inside this. If your scheme is designed to manufacture the shot, perhaps the premium should be paid to the finishers who lift defensive ceilings rather than to secondary creators who replicate value already present in your stars. Let's go to the cap table. Star salaries are locked. Your mid-level-ish bets must hit. Your roster needs a big wing whose gravity on defense saves LeBron's legs across 82, and a point-of-attack specialist who moves his feet like a cornerback and never lets the first dribble get straight downhill. Those aren't luxuries. They're borderline necessities in the West. If Reaves stays, you're committing to making those needs work at lower price points or via one big trade down the line that costs draft capital. If he goes, you're committing to finding 36 reliable guard minutes every night without your best connector. There's also the playoff math. In the second round, when everyone knows your actions, the series swing lives in B and C options. Does Reaves provide enough shot creation against top 5 defenses to be the B when LeBron sits and the C when LeBron plays? If the answer is yes, pay the tax and be done. If the answer is maybe, the price becomes the argument. If the answer is no, the front office will look you in the eye and tell you the hardest truth there is. We're paying for April and May, not October box scores. None of this lives in a vacuum. The league is watching. Teams with cap space and ambition love nothing more than a guard who can be a culture elevator and a late clock grown-up. Some are building. Some are one player away from stabilizing lineups that have too much youth. If June turns into a bidding war, the Lakers' best counter might not be money. It might be role clarity, a promise of big games on big stages, and a commitment that the ball will find him when it matters. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't. Where's the line between fact and speculation right now? The facts. He declined the most LA could legally offer in an extension window. Reliable reporting suggests he could command $40 million per season in his next deal. And there are credible pieces exploring trades in the abstract because, well, that's what front offices must do. The speculation that the Lakers have already decided to move off him or that a specific destination is locked in. Neither claim is grounded today. The responsible read is that both sides will keep everything open re-sign, ride it out, or pivot depending on performance and price. So what happens if they actually trade him? The offense becomes more binary, more strict star plus spacer possessions, fewer gray area reads. That can be good cleaner math. Cleaner rotations if your wing addition is a real first assignment defender who turns 8 opponent points into 3 every night. But you'll also miss the jazz. That little pocket hesitation into a pocket pass. That baseline cut on the blind side. That extra rotation on a scramble when ego would have stayed. Fans always feel that loss first because it shows up in the parts of the game that don't blink on TV. What if they don't? Then you're betting on the best version of Reaves in a contract year. Smarter drives. A three-point percentage that settles where the mechanics say it should. And defensive footwork that survives second-round wings. You're betting on continuity, which last spring reminded the league it still matters. You'd enter July with bird rights, a clear plan, and the right to run it back on your number if the market cooperates. It's risk on in a city that's never been risk-averse. There's a wild card, health and usage for the stars. If LeBron plays fewer minutes in the regular season by design, you actually need Reaves on ball diet to keep the offense from stalling against top 10 defenses. If a D gets a month where he's an MVP-level fulcrum, you need a guard who reads his short roll like a second language. Those are the pockets where Reaves is more than a name on a spreadsheet. He's your oxygen, the real threshold, though is internal. Do the Lakers see Reaves as one of the 3 players who decide a playoff series? If the answer in the war room is yes, they'll find a way to pay him and live with the constraints. If the answer is sometimes, depending on opponent, they'll shop frameworks without apology. If the answer is no, they'll move decisively. That clarity may not be public for months, but it's what this entire conversation is circling. I want to hear from you before we close this loop. If keeping Reaves at $40 million means tighter margins elsewhere, but preserves chemistry and late clock competence, are you in? If turning him into a bigger, switchable wing under a long-term deal turns the defense from solid to punishing, do you make the trade even if it hurts the heart? What matters more in the West? One more trusted ball handler or one more elite assignment defender? Drop your answer below. Lakers News Fan Report is built on this community being as sharp as the team we cover. My personal opinion. I think the Lakers should keep the door open on every lane. But if the market truly pushes Reaves' number into high-star territory, the organization has to be brutally honest about fit and ceiling. I love his game. I respect his climb. And I believe he helps win tough possessions. But this is still speculation, not an inevitability. Right now, all signs justify treating Reaves out as a real scenario to evaluate, not as a decision already made.